Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Rumbo. Hey, Denise. How's your favorite person, Denise? Janet Yellen? Huh? Huh? Denise loves Janet Yellen. I'm looking for I'm looking through my old folders of stuff. Creating wealth in an overlooked defective beneficiary trust. It doesn't get much more exciting than that now, does it? Credit shelter trust. It's time to consider it an annuity. What else we got here? What else we got here? How much of your income might be subject to New York State estate taxes from back 2011? New Jersey bill introduced just lots of. I used to do a lot of estate planning when I was with USAA. Lots of estate planning. It's kind of interesting. I'm not an attorney, but just had lots of stuff on estate planning. The stealth New York State estate tax. Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking for something in particular. Bear with me just a second. A primer on the Uniform Principal and Income Act. How accounting, I can't see what the rest says. A primer on the UPIA, Uniform Principal and Income Act. Doesn't get much more exciting than that. Hold on, just tax on early distributions. Had some people throw me shade. You got it wrong, Josh. You got it wrong. So I don't know. I always default to what I think the IRS wants, and the IRS always wants more money. So if you want to go conduit trust for multiple beneficiaries, Natalie Choate, right here. Conduit. How can I protect my? This is from Morningstar Advisor from 2006. Morningstar Advisor 2006. Natalie Choate, how can I protect my beneficiaries? And she says, a conduit trust for multiple beneficiaries. Haven't looked at this stuff in a long time, my friends. Haven't looked up this in a long time. The Cooling World. What? The Cooling World. And that's from Newsweek? What? The Cooling World. Areas of the earth affected by climatic change. Climatic change back then was what? Global cooling. Global cooling. Still not live on Rumble yet. Rumble is weird. How dare I have global cooling? All right, just bear me right here. Any of y'all know what this used to be? I don't know if Pennsylvania still has it. Pennsylvania inheritance tax and safe deposit boxes. How interesting is that? That is literally from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Department of Revenue. So they threw inheritance tax in the same pamphlet as safe deposit boxes. Isn't that crazy? Pennsylvania. And back in the day, what is the inheritance tax rate in Pennsylvania? 0% for transfers to surviving spouses or to a parent from a child aged 21 or younger. 4.5% on transfer to direct descendants or lineal heirs. 12% on transfers to siblings. 15% on transfers to other heirs. That is the inheritance tax in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, my friends. What property is subject to the inheritance tax? And this is friggin' 10, 15 years ago. I don't think it's changed that much. All real, tangible, and personal property of a PA resident, decedent, including but not limited to cash, blah, 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 property, automobiles, furniture, everything is taxable. In the case of a non-resident decedent, all real and tangible property located in the PA is taxable. IRAs are not subject to the inheritance tax unless the decedent was considered disabled. For 401ks, the same provision applies unless the owner of a plan could have closed out the plan during his lifetime. IRAs were not subject to inheritance tax in PA unless the decedent was considered disabled. Don't know why that would be the case. Tell me that's not nuts, though. It's 0% to wife, 4% going down, and then outwards is 12 and 15% on inheritance tax in PA. If that's not nuts, I don't know what it is. Right here, the day of my birth. Well, actually, right there. July 6, 1970. I was actually one day before I was born. July 6, 1970. See that? Fight over the flag, patriots and put-ons. And this was mailed to some guy in Woodstock, Virginia. Anyway, why am I showing you this? Because on the day of this day, July 6, 1970, the Dow had skidded 13.48 points to close at 675. So it skidded 675 plus 13. So it started at 688. The Dow closed 1.9% down on the day before my birth. 1.9%. You know people are freaking out. I don't think they have the S&P 500 in here. Yeah, they don't. The S&P 500, the transportation average, this is in 1970, fell 1.9 points to 118, as lowest level since 1962. The transportation index was lower in 1970 than it was in 1962. Oh, what's this? On the day of my birth. Cheaper homes. Market slumps helps drive down the prices of high-priced homes. Depressed levels of stocks dear would be buyers. Depressed level of stocks. That's weird. Down payments are a barrier. Mr. Mosley, an executive of a maker of modular housing, placed his 5-bedroom house in suburban Bedford Hills, New York, on the market in January at a price that local real estate agents claimed was realistic, $54,500. He wanted to sell quickly because of job change, but the house didn't move. So he recently cut his asking price to $51,500. It still hasn't moved. Everyone is interested, but no one can come up with the cash for the down payment. His experience is far from unique. A Wall Street Journal survey of homeowners and real estate brokers shows that price cutting on relatively expensive homes is widespread. Often the reductions far exceed the cut that Mr. Mosley has made. In many instances, the sellers have owned their homes for years and are not sustaining losses on sales. Anyway, that's from the day I was born. Dow was down about 2%, and real estate market was crashing. Again, why banks, stocks beat bonds. Bank stocks beat bonds. This is from 2007. The lady from Morgan Stanley, literally, and I did a video on this earlier today, literally said, the market is far too pessimistic about bank stocks. Not one of these banks has troubling exposure to the subprime credit, since they sell almost all their loans to institutional investors. And what happened next? Kaboom. I don't know if y'all can see that. See that right there? SunTrust, Washington Mutual, National City. Look at that. What happened in preferred stocks at banks? They got paid. You got paid in preferreds, man. Just keep that in mind. You got paid in prefers because they kept a dividend. They still paid 1 penny as a dividend. So if you own the prefers, you got paid. All right. But if you're relying on your growing dividends on bank stocks to provide you a safe retirement income, you are, my friend, SOL. SOL. I'm just kind of going through this with you here. I'll just let more people come on board here. That's fun. Always. Yeah, we're still there. We go. We're on good. All right, cool. Yeah. And the point being is, some guy was saying today, what was it? I forgot. My Social Security statement from 2010. Let's see here. When I lived in Texas. So let's take a look at my 2010 Social Security statement. Said I was only going to get $2,300 a month, and that's if I worked until my full retirement age. $2,300 a month. $2,236 at my full retirement age. That's it. Oh, well, what happened with Social Security? Oh, guess what happens with Social Security? It has adjusted with AWI's average wage index or cost of living adjustments depending on how old you are. Oh, this was looking for right here. Oh, yeah. I love this one. First quarter 2000. Y'all see that? It's from First Citizens Bank Investor Services, but it's from the DLJ. It used to be Donaldson, Lufskin, and I can't remember what J stood for. Anyway, DLJ used to be a pretty big brokerage firm, or I can't remember. I think it was a brokerage. I can't remember. Anyway, but they used to write these newsletters. Yeah, Donaldson, Lufkin, and Jeanette Securities Corporation. So DLJ used to run these newsletters, and in March of 2000. March of 2000. I'm just going to read a little bit. This is fun. The NASDAQ, right here. 29 years ago, the NASDAQ stock market began trading. All right, there we go. The NASDAQ composite, which passed 5,000 mark recently for the first time, consists of 4,600 stocks. This is 2000, my friends. All right. What did NASDAQ do today? NASDAQ is at 11,188. NASDAQ was at 5,000. Now, this isn't dividends. NASDAQ typically doesn't have much dividends. All right, a rally among tech stocks energized a NASDAQ composite as a closely followed tech gauge vaulted past the 5,000 mark. It returned to the psychologically important 10,000 point level for the Dow, however, has cast widespread doubts about blue chip stocks. The Dow's declines reflected the selling of traditional industrial or old economy stocks in order to jump into currently perceived faster growing tech stocks in the new economy. Like electric vehicles, the new, internal combustion engines, the old. Look, folks, this country is not going to be dominated by EVs unless it's mandated. There's no other way around that. And if it's mandated, that's not a growing economy. That's a sliding back. I'm going to show you another thing about it. The economy is going backwards. I'll show you again here in just a second. It is. You sold your soul to the greens. We're all going to pay the price for it. It's nuts. The greens are the most evil piece of craps out there because they're not green. They're watermelons. They're green on the outside, but they're dark red on the end, just like commies. All right. So anyway, the Dow Jones reflected the selling of the Dow. Reflected that people are selling their old economy stocks and buying the new economy stocks. Investors have decided to pour money into revitalized sectors, biotechnology, semiconductors, plus a number of emerging areas of business-to-business internet and fiber optics. Overall, we remain bullish towards equities, but caution the months ahead could well be volatile as the Fed monetary policy unfolds. It's always about the Fed. Like everyone, they need something to talk about. It's always the Fed. Hey, all right. DLJ for Jeremy. Right? So Jeremy's here. All right, good. So long Jeremy's here. The central bank's FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee, noted at the conclusion of his February 2nd meeting that the potential for heightened inflationary pressures exist. These comments, plus recent economic data, have heightened expectations for additional rate hikes the next meeting on March 21st. Going forward, our 2000 earnings per share estimate of the Dow is 530, down from a previous estimate of 565. Our price target for the Dow is at 12,995. We initiated a 2001 earnings per share forecast of 585. Assuming a multiple of 23, our target price for the Dow at the end of 2001 is 13,450. Yeah, didn't quite work out like that, did it? Now, that's not to say, like everyone has, my goodness, man. Oh, right here, this is a pretty good one too. This is from what date? Oh, check this out. Right there. Can you see that date? December 25th, 2000. This is who's the authors of this. This is in Business Week. Many investors are preoccupied with technologically stocks that they've overlooked another place with big investment potential. It's called the old economy. Often with little fanfare, formerly stodgy industrial and service businesses are successfully redefining themselves using the tools of the new economy. Deregulation, for example, is allowing once sleepy energy and phone companies to enter the zippy new markets. The internet is enabling all sorts of old-line companies to broaden their customer base and purchase supplies more efficiently. Meanwhile, technological innovations are letting lumbering manufacturers become nimble on the factory floor. For proof, look no further than Houston's Enron. Enron. Look no further than Houston's Enron company. Thanks to sweeping deregulation of the utility industries, the one-time natural gas pipeline company has recast itself as a highly profitable provider of energy and telecom services. 10 years ago, all of Enron's earnings came from the gas pipelines. Now, these traditional endeavors are just 20% of the company's earnings. The other 80% come from the trading of commodities, because trading is very, that it creates jobs. Trading creates jobs. In the past year, Enron's stock price has more than doubled to 73, with shares trading at a lofty 44 PE. It's had a great run, but it's still a good long-term investment, says Oscar Castro from Montgomery Global Communications Fund. Another guy from JP Morgan expects Enron's price to hit 100 during the next 6 months. Anyway, so we can play these games all day long. It's fun to kind of cherry pick and say these guys are idiots. The issue is no one knows nothing, man. It's just a fact. And I just, what we do know is that you can't afford a freaking 30% decline if you just retired. I mean, you can't afford that. And so if I'm now getting 5% on CDs, I'm freaking jumping at that like white on rice, like stink on Pablo's poop, if you know what I'm saying. There's no way I'm freaking saying I'm going to get high dividend stocks, growing dividend stocks, when I can get a 5% locked in. Yes, it is true. And I've done videos on this. The power of growing dividends is remarkable when you're younger. If you're 65 years old, dudes, you got 20 years ahead of you, 25 at the most. All right, a 5% lock in, by the time inflation really destroys that, it won't, I mean, you're talking destroy, it'll be the equivalent of 3% in 20 years. Whoop-de-flip and do. By the time inflation really eats away at that 5%, you're dead, or you're pretty doggone close to it. You see what I'm saying? Dividends, on the other hand, as we just talked about with the banks, with Enron, with all this, dividends, on the other hand, can get swamped. And preferred stocks, remember, they're preferred. They're the preference on the dividend payers. So if a company stopped paying dividends, I wonder did SVB have, was it called Silicon Valley Bank? Silicon Valley Bank preferred stock. I wonder if they had I'm not sure what the hell's, I don't care. Anyway, so because there is no such thing as Silicon Valley Bank anymore, now Santa Clara Bank. Oh, the whole thing is just stupid. It's just dumb. But it wasn't Silicon Valley Bank. They were forced to buy long-term treasuries, says all these defenders of Silicon Valley Bank. Like, who? Who forced them to? Who forced them? They weren't forced. They didn't have a gun to the head that decided they had to buy long-term treasuries. The reason they bought long-term treasuries was to juice their profits. Crazy. I can't believe how many people are defending this stuff, actually. This is a pretty good article from that guy right there. Active share and mutual fund performance. A very good article. What this guy talks about is that if you have a closet index fund, you're basing an index fund with high fees, and you're dumb, all right? Don't do that. Don't have a closet index fund with high fees. If you want to beat the market, you have to take you have to take more risk. You have to have active share. I.e., you can't have 400 stocks in your mutual fund and think you're going to beat the index when fees are factored. It's not going to work. You have 50 essentially. That's why I like the Vanguard Dividend Growth Fund. I think I still own that because Vanguard Dividend Growth Fund only has 40 stocks. That means it's risky. If you're going to beat the index, you have to take more risks. There's no other way around that. All right, let's see what else we got here. So, the return of the market-beating fund manager. And that was Ken Hebner, if memory serves, from CGM Focus. And that's from. And Keb Hebner turned around and got smoked the next 10 years. No one ever knows who Keb Hebner is anymore. He might not even be around, old Ken Hebner. Anyway, I'm going to buy the hot fund. People do this all the time. Leg Basin Value Trust, stupid Kathy, whatever that lady's name is, Kathy Woods or something like that. I don't know her name, Kathy Woods, I think, from ARC, and it's freaking nuts. Oh, I do like this article. I used to like the Wall Street Journal. I used to get a lot of, I won't say insights, but there was a lot of good reading in the Wall Street Journal. I enjoyed it. All right, so here's a Wall Street Journal article from 2013, which I laminated. I used to do this. I used to talk about this stuff. So I used to have this whole thing that I do my seminars on. And I just start going into it and riffing, raffing, and people say, "Hey, I got a question about this, question about that." Like the Pennsylvania estate tax. There's no estate tax in Pennsylvania. It's called inheritance tax. And people are like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, you didn't know, did you?" No, my financial advisor never said crap. Exactly, because your financial advisor sucks donkey balls. That's just a fact. You go to New Jersey. Did you know the estate tax in New Jersey and an inheritance tax? It was Maryland and New Jersey had both an estate and inheritance tax. It was fun doing seminars in these places. People had no clue. They're like freaking ignorant, dude. You're like, oh, I only have a net worth of $2 million. Or no, but it says my investment is only $1 million. It doesn't matter. It's your net worth, dog. That includes your home. That includes your home, man. It's your net worth. If you're in New Jersey, you had a net worth over $1 million. It's not the case anymore. I think it's, I don't know what it is now, 3 million or something like that. People would just be like, you're lying. Like literally, they say, no way. I say, dude, are you crazy? I think I shared this story I did the other day. I had a hedge fund manager in New York City. Not a bad guy. He's just stupid. He's not a smart guy. And he was making bank. I think he like made 20 million bucks this year. I said, dude, you got to do some estate planning, man. First, you got to get the hell out of New York State. Don't go to Connecticut. Get the hell out. But he couldn't. This is probably back in 2010 when I was working with him. I said, you got to get the hell out, dude. Because they're going to hammer your estate when you die. He goes, nah, they're not going to do it. They'll take care of me. I said, I said, all right, I got no problem. If you're willing to pay the tax, the governor back then was Spitzer, if memory serves. I think it was Spitzer. Yeah. Who's before Spitzer? I forgot. But anyways, I think it was Spitzer. Anyway, and as I do, Spitzer is going to get your money. And if you're not doing some trust planning. Anyway, one of the great strategies of trust planning is survivorship life insurance, by the way. But it's not even just for trust. It's survivorship life insurance, 2 lives, joint survivor. What the hell's it called, man? I'm drawing a blank. Sean and I used to have a policy. Survivorship life insurance. It assures 2 lives. A wonderful method to transfer assets tax-free to your heirs. And that way you let your IRA, you spend down your IRA, pay the tax on it, you buy survivorship life insurance, joint life, no, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, so you buy life insurance that covers you and your spouse. The survivor dies, and when the life insurance pays, it goes tax-free to your heirs. They get it without any income tax whatsoever. And then the IRA will be subject to whatever taxes that they have to pay. Now, survivorship life insurance is included in an estate. Life insurance, my friends, is included in an estate. I cannot stress this enough. Life insurance is included in your estate if you own it. People say, no, it's not. Yes, it is, and is subject to estate taxes as well. Be advised. Life insurance, if you own it, is included in your estate, and it is subject to estate tax. I can't tell you how many people get this wrong. It's tax-free. It's tax-free from an income tax. That is correct. Unless there's the unholy trinity of the insured, the beneficiary, and the grantor, the owner, essentially, and I'm not going to get that right here. But if there's not the unholy trinity and you own it and you're leaving it as part of your estate, it inherently is included in your estate and taxed accordingly if you have estate tax. And people just they make stuff up. They don't know what they're talking about. And the worst thing is what financial advisors do. Anyway, so we used to go around and give these seminars on all these various strategies on life insurance, on estate planning. And here's something from JP Morgan, the bucket strategy. I always thought that was a good visual. You guys can't really see it very well. Trusted IRAs, which I'm not that big on. I was going to show you something else, though, if I can find it. Hold on just a second. And see, we just do all this stuff. It was fun. I enjoyed doing that. Oh, right here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this was from Social Security's income tax implications. The author of the article is inspired by the work of James Mahaney and Peter Carlson, Innovative Strategies to Help Maximize Social Security Benefits. Prudential White Paper from September 2010. I will never, ever, ever forget this paper. I had a guy in my office, a client. He said, dude, read this paper. I'm getting presented for an insurance guy who's saying I'm going to get hammered on taxation on Social Security. And I said, what? Nah, dude, these insurance guys don't know what they'll talk about. I'm a CFP. I know. Anyway, so he gave me this thing, and I was like, holy crap, this guy, I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. This guy was right. I said, the insurance guy knew what he's talking about. Anyway, so I started looking at FPA, Financial Planning Association. They produce a Journal for Financial Planning, and not one doggone article about the tax torpedo. There's a guy named Bill Reichenstein and William Reichenstein and William, I don't remember his last name, out of Baylor. Reichenstein and the other guy, I forgot his name. And they're finance professors at Baylor. They actually have Social Security maximization software tool. And they write all the time for the JFP. I emailed him and said, dude, you know anything about this? About tax torpedo? Didn't have a clue. Now he does. I'm the one who introduced it to that guy. This guy right here. You're looking at him. I mean, he won't know me from Adam. It was this guy right here. I don't have his email anymore to prove it. I emailed him and said, dude, this is nuts. I just got a guy, an insurance guy. I'm looking around JFP. I don't see any article of you talking about Social Security taxation, the tax torpedo, or anything like that. What do you know about it? Nothing. Nothing. Bill Reichenstein. Now he does because of him. This right here. Right here. Brilliance, baby. Brilliance. You're in the essence of brilliance. But anyway, I was a guy who said that because some freaking life insurance guy was trying to solicit with my clients. My client said, read this thing. And I said, okay, I'll read it. I tell you, I almost threw it away. I had it sitting on my freaking desk for probably 2 months. And finally, the guy's coming in. I was trying to get this guy's money. So it's like, all right, I'll read your stupid article. And I was blown away. And that changed everything for me right there. Everything. That article from Prudential, I think it's from Prudential from 2010 on how Social Security's tax, plus Ty Bernicki's 2005 Journal for Financial Planning article on the reality of retirement spending made everything for me. It's like when I realized the moon landing was fake. It opened my eyes to everything. I said, if they can lie about that, they can lie about all this other stuff. And so that's when you say, okay, I got it now. And it's liberating. Like, okay, if they can lie about putting Neil Armstrong on the moon, they can certainly lie about whatever the hell they want, which includes, you know what happened in 2020? Anyway, so long story short, I said, okay, so Ty Bernicki, no one talked about Ty Bernicki's work. Now they're talking about it 15 years later. How many people died on their crappy old job because no one had the guts to talk about Ty Bernicki's work? Even Jonathan Clements from the Wall Street Journal said Ty Bernicki, the reason people spend less as they get older because they run out of money. There's no evidence of that, Jonathan Clements. Where's your evidence? You're just spouting off your freaking English butt, dude, because he's English. You're just pulling out of your English butt. You and Meghan Markle and whatever that guy's name is. Who, by the way, Joe Biden just bailed out. Got to bail out the billionaires and millionaires, dude, 100%. Oprah Winfrey, got to bail her out because, you don't want to be racist and stuff. Anyway, the point being was Ty Bernicki wrote this stuff in 2005 on the back of other people. I can't remember their names from 1999, just off the top of my head, I can't remember. But they didn't write in the Journal for Financial Planning, at least that I'm aware of. Ty Bernicki did. So on the back of giants comes Ty Bernicki saying, hey, retirement planning as we're doing is wrong. There's a better way. And the way is just using common sense. And you're like, man, Ty Bernicki freaking crush. And then you start looking at Social Security. People are like 85% of your Social Security benefits can be subject to taxation. And then you see these articles, you're like, no. So here we are in 2023. Most people now gather that there's a tax torpedo in Social Security, which is why we do Roth conversions and have brokerage accounts as opposed to deferred money, which is why we delay taking Social Security until we're 70 so we can spend down our IRAs so we can live off a higher Social Security, which is worth more and tax-free. Most people get this now. Took for a long time, dude. And even now, after, it's almost 20. I mean, there's a guy named Hurd and William Hurd and Susan Rottweiler who've been doing research on this forever too. No one ever talks about these guys, man. Bernicki, he's just a broker. So everyone's like, he's just a salesman. He's not academic, so no one cares. But Susan Rottweiler, her name's not Rottweiler. I just can't remember her name. Rowetter, I think. And Michael Hurd, I think. Is Michael Hurd? I think it's Hurd. I've been writing about this for a long, long time, too. No one ever pays any attention. And I'm going to share with you an article here by my man Andy Biggs here in just a second. It should really piss you off, dude. I'm sorry. I'm pissed by this. I hate being lied to. I hate being lied to by ignorant fools. Ignorant means they don't know, but they act like they know. And so that makes them a fool. And I hate that crap. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Don't lie to me. Just tell me the truth, man. Let me deal with it. I hate that crap. Anyway, so we got all these people with data that has been known for a long, long time, but everyone is still refusing to use the data because it says, I never use, kind of like string theory. String theory is a joke. Einstein's a joke. We all know this, but no one can go against this now because it's so definitively established as science. I think string theory, no one I don't even follow that stuff that much. What's my man's book here? What's the guy's name? Peter, what the hell is that guy's name? Not Even Wrong, the Columbia mathematician, Peter W-O-S-T. I forgot his name. It doesn't matter. Anyway, string theory is a joke. We all know this. Dawkins is a fool. All these, what's the other guy's name with string theory? Was it Dawkins? It was, but it was another guy, big string theory proponent. It wasn't Krauss. I don't think it was Krauss. I can't remember. It was another guy. I'm drawing a blank, that guy's name. But they're never going to change because their whole reason to exist is based on these things. You see what I'm saying? And the same with financial planners. They can't change. And so now all these other people who listen to us, you guys, you just go putting your head down. I'm not going to be able to retire. I'm going to punch the clock. Driving dangerously to your crappy old job that's an hour away each way. You're tired. You're anxious. You're eating crap. You're putting on pounds. Your stress level's through the roof. Your blood pressure is high. You're on a freaking dangerous highway. Freaking evil. So here's hey, look at that. John Bashir's What Makes Annuitization More Appealing. Look at that. It's funny seeing some of these guys. And Stanford can kiss my big fat behind, too. I want to share with you guys this article real quick. We'll take questions here in just a second. Is this the Aon study? Oh, no. I haven't looked at this in a long time. I think it is. Yes. Oh, the advent of the 80% rule. Aon Hewitt. Scum buckets, these guys. Yep. From Georgia State University. I'm sure this is it. Yep. The advent of the 80% rule. Aon. Or I don't even know how you pronounce it. Dude, freaking. So much bad fakery in this side of this business. All right, here. Here's my man. From 2001. Ooh. Tax planning for Social Security and similar benefits. Journal of Financial Services Professionals. Oh, man. Yeah, yes. So I was doing all that. I was like, dude, there has got to be something on this in the Journal for Financial Planning, JFP. I was like, there was nothing. This is the other article I could find from 2001. From this guy right here, Thomas Brinker. And, Brinker is not the same Brinker you're thinking about from Vanguard. I remember, what is happening? Why have I not heard this? And then I came across this thing right here. I'm not sure where this is from. And that was it. I could not believe it. I said, is everyone full of crap? Does no one know anything? Crazy. All right, hold on a second. I want to show you guys something here. Because I want to tell Dave Ramsey. What's Dave Ramsey? Is he a Baptist? What is he? What is Dave Ramsey? Does anyone know what his denomination is? So I'm going to share with you guys something that you'll get a kick out of. I can find it. And dude, I got literally See all that stuff over there? That's paper after paper after paper sitting in boxes, just sitting there, waiting to be read. And it probably never will be. I need to do the thing where if you haven't read it after 2 weeks, throw it away. But I can't do it, man. I can't do it. So I'm going to share with you guys something with right here. Oh, this is great. So I got literally stuff over there. It's nuts. And I got stuff up in the attic. Look, dude, when we did these seminars, it's entertaining. It was supposed to be entertaining and to get people to say, I did not know that. So you want them to like, they got to know you and they got to like you and they got to trust you. KLP, no like trust. KLT. File by pile, exactly. Anyway, so the point being was we used to do these seminars, me and my man Rich, and it was just having a good time. It was fun, and we'd goof on each other a lot. And but it was educational, entertaining, and people walked away with a hole in their head because they're like, dude, I had no clue. And then you got them because people are like, if I don't know this, what else do I not know? And it's fun because you say, look, we're not here to bash people. I don't care what you're paying for fees. We just know you don't know this stuff because no one does. We do because we're students of the business. And sadly, a lot of students of the business don't know crap. The reason we could have been students of the business at USAA, though, was because we got paid a salary, no commissions. And that's why USA jumped the shark when they got rid of that line of work, because it's like that was a wonderful model. You could take the time to learn, to research, to think, to talk to people in other areas, insurance professionals, for instance. Like I had no clue what an ILIT was. Life insurance trust. Now I'm drawing a blank what the I stands for. Life. ILIT. I had no clue. I had CFP. I'll never forget sitting there talking to an insurance guys probably in 2006. He's like, oh, I got an ILIT. I was like, what? What the hell is an ILIT? I was like, damn. So here's Liberty University. Dateline 2007. Dr. Falwell, I don't care how you feel about Jerry Falwell, I don't care. All I know is Liberty University is a big school in Lynchburg. We know that for a fact. And it's booming. It's booming. I'm not sure I really don't care what's happening. I'm just saying right now, Liberty is a good alternative to what the hell's happening out there in Stanford, for instance. Dr. Falwell spearheaded the Liberty University's debt reduction plan. How did he do this? A payoff of $34 million in life insurance on the late Reverend Jerry Falwell has sparked growth in the Liberty University endowment. The church will receive $29 million, and Thomas Road Baptist Church will receive another $5 million. The payout more than meets the school's existing debt. Liberty University has been carrying between $20 and $25 million in debt on its books for the past 10 years. The proceeds of the life insurance can pay that debt off and still leave $7 to $8 million for endowment. That was a goal, says Jerry Falwell Jr. Is it Jerry Falwell Jr. that was getting jiggy with it without not on his wife? Was that right? Was it Jerry Falwell Jr.? And if that's not true, I apologize. But wasn't it Jerry Falwell Jr.? Wasn't there some rumors about that or something like that, getting jiggy with it when someone that he shouldn't be getting jiggy with it? I think it was. I might be mistaken. I don't know. It seems like I remember that someplace. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. I think I can't remember that. Anyway, so that was the goal, says Jerry Falwell Jr. Dad wanted to leave the university debt-free. Dad used to joke that when he kicked the bucket, Liberty University would be in high cotton. But remember, life insurance is a scam, right, Dave Ramsey? He also knew the university's financial health would be essential to its survival. Dad, Jerry Falwell, thought that Liberty would be more likely to fulfill its mission if it didn't have financial pressures. He wanted to put Liberty in a position that would not have to compromise its core beliefs at any time in the future if it did not have pressures. And what are those pressures, amigos? Debt. Do you not see how this works? Jerry Falwell says, man, we're sitting on $10 million of debt. We can't pay this sucker off. It sucks. It's keeping us from fulfilling our mission. I don't care if you like the mission. I don't care. You have your own personal mission. On top of that, if we don't have financial pressures, we can do better at fulfilling the mission. How do people not get this? It's weird to me. When you travel light you can do God's work. However, God talks to you. When you're traveling heavy, you do Satan's work in this temporal world. You have to. You have to play the rules. And the rules are dominated by evil beings on this world. It's just a fact, man. It's crazy. So you pay off debt, you can travel a hell of a lot lighter, and you can start doing God's work, whatever that is. Be it tithing, be it freaking just donate. Like, we had a new dishwasher installed today. We gave them $50 each, man. It feels great. Love it. I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I'm such a great guy. No. It's because other than my mortgage, my debt's paid off now. You see what I'm saying? It just travels light. Not as light as I'd like to be. You know what I'm saying? But when you start traveling light, you can start doing things like that. It just makes you happy. Because you're not, because look at me, I'm so great. No. You do it because it's fun to know you're making a guy's day. It's great. Nothing feels better. But if you're freaking got debt coming out of your wazoo, you can't do that, man. It's just that simple. We learned from Jerry Falwell, of all people. Some of the life insurance was bought several years ago. About $20 million was bought in 2003 when Falwell was 70 years old. It cost about $1 million a year. So he died in 2007. They paid $5 million in life insurance, and they got $35 million back. Talk about an eternal rate of return that would be nice to get now. That's for doggone sure. A lot of people were surprised that we could buy that much life insurance at that age for that price. It worked out very well for university. Anyway, there's a small price to pay. The late Reverend Falwell had set a goal of $1 billion over the next 10 years. I bet that's not there. But anyway, it's an evangelical Christian university. In addition to the life insurance money, Liberty received a $2.5 million gift to his endowments from Sherwin Cook, a Madison Heights, Virginia businessman. Cook said he began planning his gift 2 or 3 years ago. He's impressed by Liberty's mission and current strong position. He doesn't want to send good money after bad. So the fact they got out of debt changed everything. Dudes, it's almost like the devil wants you to take debt because he knows you can't do God's work when you're heavy in debt. Now, that doesn't mean if you're in debt, you can't do God's work. I'm not saying that. But you know it. I know it. We all know it, that if you're heavy in debt, you're stressed. It's tougher to do good stuff, especially with your pocketbooks. That's just a fact. All right, so let's see what here. I'm not bashing Andrew. I'm not bashing Ramsey. I just to say whole life insurance is a scam when we have evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence is not. You can say it's not a good investment. That's fine. It turns out for Falwell was. Remember, life insurance is best when it's cheaper. So you always want to get it young. Survivorship life insurance. That's what I'm trying to say. Survivorship life insurance. I'll do another video on that sometime. It's been a while. I love survivorship life insurance. I think it's the best thing going, man. If you want to leave a chair, maybe you want to go to Laterno University down. You ever seen the Laterno? Let's look at Laterno University down in Texas. Laterno University. Oh, this place crushes. I mean, you're going to have to endow. You're going to have to take some of your money and give it to these schools away from the beast. The beast is, we're not going to beat the beast by voting harder. I mean, I don't know why Republicans don't just sit there and say, as long as you don't have any Republicans on your staff, we're not giving you any freaking tax dollars. But a lot of these universities don't even need the tax dollars anymore, guys. They don't, because their endowments are so big, they don't really need the tax dollars. They just need the nonprofit thing status. So if I was Republicans, I'd say you are blatantly discriminating against Republicans, against conservatives, blatantly. And until we see a 50-50 mix among staff, you're not getting any tax benefits whatsoever. But Republicans will never do that because they hired just enough Liz Cheneys of the world at University, I think, Virginia, to say, see, we are bipartisan, but we all know it's fake. Anyway, so the point being is you're going to have to that is the beast, and you got to escape the beast, dude. And so the way you do that is you propel up the better schools, like the Truett College up here, that the guy, Kathy Truett, whatever his name is, from Chick-fil-A, Lee University up there in Cleveland, Tennessee, Laterno University. This place is like for science, I think it's aerospace, if memory serves. right here. These guys, where work and learning are transformed by faith. Yeah, these guys, Polytech Institute. Yeah, so right here, yeah, airlines, a place for those who learn by doing. We are makers, doers, creators. We are small enough to give students hands-on professional experience and comprehensive enough to assemble outstanding faculty and dozens of academic programs where our graduates carry out the good news of Jesus. That's what you want, man. Stop giving money to some freaking woke school. Screw that. What are you doing? But it makes me feel good because I went to George Mason. Screw George Mason. Screw him. Give it to people who are engaged in the battle for souls, man. I went to George Mason. Oh, I'm glad I went. Screw that. They're operating on the side of the evil. You got to start calling them freaking a spade a spade. The world we're living in is controlled by evil scumbags. And the more you participate, the more you give a leg up to the evil. You know, God doesn't need your money. He doesn't. God has all the money he could possibly imagine because he's God. However, it's kind of like I was listening to a guy yesterday, Vox Day. He said, just put it this way. People get worried that they're going to take heat for stating the good, true, and beautiful. So just say you're up, the pearly gates, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you knock on the pearly gates, St. Peter opens up the gates, and you're before your Lord who's going to judge you. And the Lord says, I would love to say, well done, good and faithful servant, but I haven't seen you do that much that's well done. I noticed that you didn't really cause any controversy at all. And if you're not causing controversy among the evil-minded, what exactly were you doing? You see what I'm saying? I thought, I'm butchering the way he said it, but it's like, if you're not causing some kind of controversy by standing up for the good, true, and beautiful, that's not something to be proud of, man. It's not something to be proud of. That doesn't mean you go out there and start punching people. It just says, hey, it's controversial. Controversial to state that God gave his only son for us. It's controversial to state that. It's controversial to state that a husband and wife should stay together married to support their children. Controversial to say things, don't do pornography, maybe don't drink and drive, whatever. Maybe you got to ban freaking user. I don't know, whatever it is, whatever freaking suits you, whatever the suit fits, man. But you got to do something. Sitting on your hands in fear, I don't know, I paid the mortgage. Yeah, that's what they got you. And I'm like that. I get it. I got to watch what I say on YouTube. But when the mortgage is paid, dude, and the debts are out, again, probably 4 years, all my kids are out of the house, debts are paid. That's my goal. I don't know if it will be. I hope. Then heaven forbid, man, the controversy will just begin. It's going to be great. Anyway, so I want to show you this. This is, right here. Let's read my man, Andrew Biggs. Marie, is Indiana a liberal state? Indiana is deep red. Deep red. Look at my man, Andrew Biggs. At last, some action on misleading retirement income statistics. Now remember, I told you about this in one of my many videos, but we're going to read this because Andrew Biggs crushes. Retirement income security is one of America's biggest worries. And facts and figures on retirement income are the way that citizens convey those concerns. But what if some of the most prominent figures aren't actually facts? New federal government research shows that many common factoids on retirement income adequacy are just plain wrong. What? Yes, plain wrong. And federal agencies are starting to recognize it. Back in 2012, I co-authored a Wall Street Journal op-ed with Sylvester Schreiber, arguing that the federal government's main source of data for retirees' income, the CPS, the Current Population Survey, severely undercounts the benefits retirees draw from private retirement plans. Are you hearing that? The CPS, the government's main source of retiree data on retirement income, severely undercounts. That means they're not counting enough. The benefits retirees draw from private IRAs and 401k plans, and even defined benefit pension plans. Our evidence was simple. In the CPS, a household survey which sample of Americans are asked to report the various sources of income, retirees in 2008 reported receiving less than $250 billion in income from pensions and retirement accounts. However, the IRS own reports show that retirees received over $450 billion from private retirement accounts. Clearly, a lot of retirement income wasn't being counted in the CPS. The reasons the CPS understates retirement benefit plans aren't totally clear. One problem is the way the CPS defines income, which includes only regular payments such as monthly pension benefits. Exactly. If you ever looked at the actually survey, like, this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't ever ask you just take a one-time distribution from an IRA. It never asks that. It's crazy. The definition excludes as needed withdrawals from IRAs. But the CPS also understates benefits even from traditional pensions, amigos. The best explanation survey respondents just answered incorrectly. Check this out. The upshot is that U.S. retirees' incomes are higher and their poverty rates and dependence on Social Security are lower than is commonly understood. For instance, based on the CPS, you might read that 9.5% of U.S. seniors had incomes below the poverty level in 2019, or that retiree households had median incomes of just $39,000 in 2016, or that in 2014, 1/3 of Americans 65 and older received nearly all their income from Social Security. All these factoids lead to the conclusion that the U.S. retirement system is failing. It's failing, I tell you. And all of them are wrong. Today, we have much better understanding of how official statistics understate retirees' benefits. All right. Unfortunately, let's see, keep going. I want to show you something. The CPS data that B and Mitchell accessed show that in 2016, the median senior household had an income of $40,000. But IRS data showed the median household income was $52,000. That's a 28% difference. For context, average Social Security benefits grow about 1% faster than inflation each year. It's not unreasonable to assume that other sources of retirement income would keep pace. But B and Mitchell found that a quarter century's worth of retirement income growth simply by getting the data right. I mean, you hear that? They found 25 years worth of retirement income growth by getting the data right. With the higher retirement incomes comes lower old age poverty. The IRS also showed remarkable growth in retirement incomes for over time. From 1990 to 2016, the typical retiree household income rose by 38% above inflation. Here's a study in 2021 by the SSA confirming these results. Anyway, that's just nuts. And so there we go again. Just more of the same old. Link to the article. Yeah. Anything that Andrew Biggs from AEI writes. Anything that Andrew Biggs from AEI writes, American Enterprise Institute. That's, you just look at anything. I mean, literally, I looked at Andrew Biggs for a while, whatever he's written about lately. Actually, I'll show you something else. I couldn't access this article, which kind of sucks, but hold on a second. Now, we've been talking about this for a long time here at Heritage Wealth Planning. So for you guys new to the channel, you missed it. Where you been? So this is one I really want to read, but I'm not going to pay for it because I just maybe I will. I hate Journal of Retirement. I just hate subscribing to these newsletters. Children and retirement income adequacy. A typical household spends about $13,000 a year per child with food, clothing, shelter, and essentials of life. With parental expenditures on children totaling 5% of GDP. Several studies have shown that how children are assumed to interact with household expenditures and saving has first-order effects of judgments on the adequacy of retirement in U.S. households. Yet the effect of children on their parents' ability and need to save for retirement is unresolved. This article uses data from the PSID, the Panel Study of Income Dynamics, to track changes in household spending as children transition to financial independence. Anyway, the results point towards a more optimistic future picture of the adequacy of U.S. household savings, retirement savings. And it only makes sense, dude. Yeah, you know, I got two sons who are both basically 6 feet. I'm only 5'9". My wife's 5'7". All right, one's 15, one's 16. They're packing them on, dude. All right, so where I used to be able to make, freaking 4 steaks and, 6 steaks, I guess. Like today, just made some, I don't know if y'all saw my picture I posted. I made these. Oh, man, these Denver steaks. Look at that crust. Oh, look at Mano and Benjamin. Look at that crust. Oh, you're jealous. You know you're jealous. So I made these say, that doesn't cover us all. That doesn't cover us all. That's for friggin', that's like, we need more than that. So our food budget's going through the roof. But guess what doesn't go through the roof? When the kids are out of here, my food budget will be dropping. So why would I need 80% of my pre-retirement income if that pre-retirement income it consists of my kids? Doesn't make sense. All right. Anything else I want to talk about up here? Ooh, did y'all ever hear this? This is nuts. This is nuts. So we all know Benedict Arnold was not a traitor, right? You guys know that. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows Benedict Arnold was not a traitor. He was betrayed by his country. But anyway, so I'm reading a book on Benedict Arnold in the realm of Kenneth Roberts of Maine, but this is not. It's not really his. It's historical, not so much historical fiction, actually. And I wish it was a little bit more historical fiction like Kenneth Roberts because there's like dialogue which I like. And I came across this: the Candlemas Day Massacre. The raid on York, Maine, also known as the Candlemas Massacre, took place on the January 24th, 1692, by Chief this guy and Father Louis Pierre Thury. Father Louis Pierre Thury led 200 to 300 natives into the town of York and basically killed a bunch of people. What? Killing about 100 of the English settlers. What? A Jesuit priest killing people? What? That's crazy talk. Yeah, the Jesuits have a very checkered past, my friends. I'm just telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. I just a very checkered past. Look, look, let me put it this way. We know Martin Luther isn't all that in a bag of chips. We know Thomas More isn't all that in a bag of chips too. We know a lot of these guys in the past are not very good guys. You know what I'm saying? That's just a fact. So before you start saying, well, how about this? How about that? Nah, I don't care. But lately, it seems that there's some, let's put it this way. I'm beginning to challenge the orthodoxy of the Jesuit education system. Because who is the one who really started propelling the Copernicus and all this stuff? You see what I'm saying? And what did that really do? And I'm really starting to wonder, the Jesuits really serving Jesus? Or are they just saying that as a way to advance bad stuff? And I'm not there yet. It's just something that I come to my mind because then we see other Indian wars that are perpetrated against the Indians, fought back by Jesuit priests. You're like, what is happening here? What is this where we have to get in a war about with people to literally kill brutally people? And it's not a good thing. You know, I'm not even talking about the Crusades and all that stuff. I'm just talking about the Catholic adherence to the Jesuits really bothers me. Not gonna lie to you. And I'm sitting there thinking, that doesn't make me very happy. It certainly doesn't violate Jesus because Jesus is without violation. It's scumbags being scumbags. Anyway, it's interesting. So I didn't know that. I was like, I'd never heard the Candlemas Massacre. Now, sadly, the white English turned around and went. They went to work on the Abenaki tribe from Indians, and they killed all those people in retaliation. And they killed another Jesuit priest who seemed like he was probably a righteous dude, actually. But I'm not sure. I haven't read too much into it. But either way, so the Jesuit priest gets all these Indians to freaking get riled up and go kill these 200 people. And then the survivors of the said families, and they took slaves, literally kids, they took them as slaves. And the survivors of the said family said, we're going to get revenge. And it just keeps going back. It's like a volley. And you're like, what? I don't think Jesus. Let's just read you a John Prine lyric, shall we? Let's just read Flag Decal by John Prine. John Prine. Oops. Hold a second. Lyrics. Let's read you this. I wish you just talk about whatever, man. I don't care. Right here. Right here. John Prine just kicked ass. Yep. Yep. Here's my man, John Prine. While digesting Reader's Digest in the back of a dirty bookstore, a plastic flag with gum on the back fell out on the floor. Well, I picked it up and I ran outside and slapped it, a plastic flag, and slapped on my window shield. And if I could see old Betsy Ross, I'd tell her how good I feel. But your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Now, Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the reason's for. And your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Well, I went to the bank this morning, and the cashier said to me, if you join the Christmas club, we'll give you 10 of them flags for free. Well, I didn't mess around a bit. I took him up on what he said, and I stuck them stickers all over my car and one on my wife's forehead. Again, Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the killing's for. Well, I got my window shield so filled with flags I couldn't see. So I ran the car upside a curb and right into a tree. By the time they got the doctor down, I was already dead. I'll never understand why the man standing in the pearly gates said, oh, John Prine just freaking kicks ass. Great song. A lot of those old songs, they didn't come so great in the later in the 80s and whatnot. Just like, ugh, because the 80s music sucks. We all know that. All right. Anyway, if you're not a fan of John Prine, you're wrong. Let's see. I just real quick. I gotta find this other John Prine song. Peach. I think it's called Peaches. Oh, it's a great. You all familiar with John Prine? John Prine. Peaches. I think it's Peaches. Let's see. Peaches. Lyrics. Yeah, right here. Oh, yeah, it's great. I'm moving to the country. Gonna eat a lot of peaches. We'll see. One second. That's not it, man. That's not the right song, is it? Nope, that's not the right word. I can't remember the song. But anyway, so he finds a Mexican lady, moves to the country, has a bunch of children, eats a lot of peaches, and it's a great song. Great song. All right. Oh no, he's gonna sing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So let's see what you got. We got 1 hour in, and we'll see what kind of my man, I think Bill here bought his first CD at 15 months at 5%. Hey, look at that. Revere University. Cool. Let's take a look at Revere University. I like it. Revere University. That's freaking fantastic, Andrew. Let's take a look, shall we? We got Riviera. I didn't say Revere. Revere. I don't see I see a Riviere University. Maybe don't have it up yet. You might not have it up yet. Good, man. My uncle and aunt both have PhDs, and Jerry Sr. hired them, set up some college. Hey, right on. Look at Prairie Mark stepping up. Yeah, God is super rich, man. Almost as rich as the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. Nah, Indiana is freaking not a liberal state at all, Murray. All right. Ooh, I missed a lot of stuff here. Yeah. The Fed is both the arsonist and the fireman, 100%. All right. Let's see. Remember, if it's in caps, it helps me. Oh, boy. Hope that's a good thing. I need to show us that global cooling. That's true. True that. An entrepreneur who had more than 250K, the Cali Bank said on a TV show that the owners should notify the customers of. And he says they were freaking out because. That's right. And guess who played 3 months later in Portland, Maine after my birth? Why do you think I'm a metalhead? Black Sabbath came to town, Portland, Maine, October 1970. So a couple months after I was born, Ozzy and the boys came to Portland, Maine to play in celebration of your old buddy Josh. My predictions will have to be reminded of SVB in a few months. Yeah, Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion we're going to see probably some short-term gains here, guys. What was the market today? Hmm, The S&P was down a little bit, not much. 10-year Treasury. Oh, look at that. So, why? I just why do you think that's happening? That's in 1 week's time. That's a 10-year Treasury yield because they're basically saying we don't think the Fed's going to keep raising after this. And if they don't start raising and they level off, the bond market is going to take off like a friggin' it's going to be nuts, nuts. I tell you. In fact, I just read an article today that the bond market is going crazy right now. We're gonna have to ban Jeremy because he said '80s music is awesome. Everybody knows that. No, that's just dumb. I mean, literally, there's a lot of dumb things that have been said on this channel, many of which from me, Jeremy. That might be the dumbest one anyone's ever said. 80s music, yeah, Jeremy. That is literally, I think, the dumbest thing anyone's ever said on this channel. That '80s music was good because everyone knows. I mean, it's biblical how bad it was. '80s music. You wanted to take an anvil and drop it on your head while you're slicing your wrist, jumping off the Empire State Building into a pool of starving great white sharks. All the while, your wife threw a freaking something plugged, we'll say a toaster into that pool of great whites as well, so that you'd be electrocuted at the same time. All right, and then on top of that, Sniffy Joe would jump in naked like he used to do with this when he had the Secret Service. He'd swim naked, Sniffy Joe, and you get a gander at that friggin' handsome stud there, Sniffy Joe, while you're being attacked by great whites with an anvil crushing in your head, and you're being electrocuted from your wife throwing a toaster in that pool of blood now because the great whites are eating you alive after falling 400 feet from the Empire State Building. All right, that is literally that or '80s music. It's literally which is worse. Of course, '80s music is worse than that. I mean, come on. Oh, jeez Louise, these youngins today. Yeah, I think so too. I think we're gonna have to be reminded of. I think there's gonna be a small little run, absolutely, on the markets for sure. I'm 100%. I don't know because it's got to get people capitulate. They got to say, "Oh yeah, okay, it's not so bad, not so bad." And it probably won't be bad, dude. It's probably not gonna be anything, for a few little bit. But I mean, the fact that they essentially nationalize all banks, I don't know how people don't see this. I had a bunch of people and I guess rightly so. I had a guy email me or text me, nice guy. He goes, if it wasn't for the FDIC, I would have lost all my money because he had SVB. I said, that's great, but they can't do that to everybody. They can't. There's limitations to what can be done. You can't have a nationalization of banks and not expect the nationalist to want blood from you. I'm sitting there thinking, why would FDIC covers up to 250. Why would I literally don't understand why people don't get this. If you have more than 250, you're taking the risk. Why should I take the risk as a taxpayer for you? It doesn't make sense. It's again, privatize the profits and socialize the risk. I don't get it, man. I'm not here to badger this guy. I'm just saying, what was your risk? If it's over 250, you knew that risk going in. And then I don't know if that's the case with this guy. I don't know. He might have just had 250 or below FDIC coverage. That's what we pay the fees for FDIC was to cover that. There is not enough FDIC fees in the world to cover unlimited guarantees of deposits. If they're going to doesn't anyone see what this means? When FDIC is covering everything, it's covering nothing because they can't cover everything. Thus, the people they covered are the politically connected. Everybody else gets screwed, or you will do what they tell you unless you lose your cash. And the scary thing to me that comes down is this the beginning of the digital currency thing, where they're saying, look, man, if you're going to cover your deposits, there's not going to be any cash anymore. You see what I'm saying? That's what concerns me. Let's see what you guys think about that. I think they're sitting there saying, Telegram. Well, I don't know if Telegram. They would have said, yeah, Gary Rosington, Jamie, he lives right up the street. He used to. Well, he owns that land right up the street from me. Gary Rosington. Can you believe that? Exactly, Rick. What if the banks would have been in Kansas? Well, that's 100%. Yeah. What if you're in Palestine, whatever is Ohio? Anyway, the friggin' savings and loan days. Yeah, I think we forget how bad that was. That was a little bit before my time, but that was bad. Anyway, so when they literally guarantee every single dollar, they're gonna want their piece of skin, dude. And their piece of skin is gonna be no more cash. If we're gonna guarantee it, it's all gonna be digital, and it will be based on social credit score. Now, look, is that coming tomorrow? No. Whatever come, I don't know. But I mean, the federal government has assumed guarantee status of every single dollar sitting in a bank. It can't do that. I mean, it can do whatever it wants, obviously. But there isn't. They have a 500 billion dollar line of credit now for FDIC. Where does that come from? It's all. I mean, it's smoke and mirrors. That doesn't mean you don't have your money in the bank. I'm not saying that. Just like, man, you wipe off 170 billion dollars of assets just gone overnight, essentially. That's inherently deflationary. So the federal government creates this line of credit to back these banks up. No bank wants to buy it. And next thing you know, you're like, well, where'd all this come from? Where'd it go? Where'd it come from? It's crazy. Yeah, here we go. Is the government covering it? 100%. That's right. This is my man gets it. If the government is guaranteeing all the risk, it's going to lead to more risk taking, speculative, Bitcoin. Does anyone wonder why Bitcoin? I think Bitcoin is through the roof today, was it not? You think it's because everyone's afraid of the dollar? It's because no. The government just said we are going to back your speculative investments banks. So Bitcoin, I think, was through the roof. Yeah, Bitcoin is up to 25. Look at that. That's in 1 week's time. No, they even have. Yeah, exactly, Denise, Jill. The FDIC doesn't have enough to cover half it. One percent, and there probably would have been a run. I mean, that's the thing. Look at that. Susan says FDIC only has 6 cents on all deposits on their balance sheets. Crazy. And so what's going to happen, man? Is they're going to freaking. This is where I was going to do a video today. Dear social, what Naomi Wolf do? Dear conservatives, I apologize. I was going to do one. Dear socialist, I apologize. Not because I'm a socialist. Dear socialist, I apologize. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. That the get rid of the Glass-Steagall. Get rid of. There's another one too. Glass-Steagall. I forgot the other one that we got. Phil Graham, Leach Bliley. But they got rid of Glass-Steagall and they got rid of another one too. I forgot what it was. But I was like, yeah, dude, let the banks just put all of our money in Social Security in the markets. It'd be great. I was such an idiot. My mom was right, dude. My mom was right. She goes, you're going to trust these? You think these, because we had arguments all over the place. The government versus corporations. She goes, you think the corporations are better than the government? Yeah, Mom, they're out to they're just trying to make a profit. They employ people, blah, blah, blah. She goes, oh, my son, how naive you are. You're wrong, Mom. You're wrong, you old hippie socialist. You don't understand. That doesn't mean socialism is any better. No, it doesn't. It just means at the end of the day, the regulations, essentially trust busting in some regard from the old days, but you can't have banks engaging in investment activity, which is why they gave toasters out as the incentive, because there couldn't be any other incentive other than a toaster. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go back those ways. It's the cat's out of the bag. Isn't it interesting that anyway, I was going to say, I apologize, socialists. I thought that corporations were better than government. Now I realize they're both just evil, corrupt, and they're both part of the same group, by the way. It's got to be a Main Street thing. The only salvation is, people say, well, capitalism, unfettered capitalism. There isn't any unfettered capitalism. It's so freaking stupid. I hate that crap. What it needs to be is literally an Adam Smith kind of capitalism. The bread maker, the baker, the candlestick maker. You know what I'm saying? Localized supply chains. localize businesses. You see what I'm saying? And that could be more expensive without question. That's a hell of a lot more structured and resilient than what we have now. And that's the way it's not, it's capitalism, but it's more entrepreneurism, if that makes, I think capitalism actually, I think my man John Ellijay told me about the origins of the word capitalism. It's not good. It's a derogatory term. But it really needs to be an entrepreneurism as opposed to capitalism. You know what I'm saying? The Main Street as opposed to Wall Street. But that doesn't mean we want big government either. But it really needs to say, look, we can't have these freaking monopolistic enterprises just breathing down the necks of everybody. We're going to rein that in, and I'm 100% for. I just think it's too late now. I do. I don't think the tentacles of big corporations control. I mean, look at Big Pharma. They control everything. Look at Big Oil. You think Big Oil wants nuclear? Big Oil? Come on. Big Oil is like, you think Big Oil hates nuclear. You know what I'm saying? Come on. But Georgia Power, yeah, look how long it's take to get Georgia Power to do a nuclear plant up and running. You think Big Oil is hot to trot on that? Of course not. I mean, so you think Big Oil doesn't like when you have restrictions on their production capability? Of course they do. It makes the prices go up. It's profitable. Actually, I looked at I bought an FHLB bank a bond the other day at about a month ago at 6%. I looked that up today. I was like, I hope that sucker isn't getting pummeled. It's trading right about at par now, so I'm still okay. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Yeah. So what are you guys blaming China for this? I don't get it. I actually think what they want is what they're trying to do is set us up for a war with China. And as such, we'll take our mind off how bad the system is. And we'll just say, we're going to get those guys over there before they come over here. It's just, it's painful to behold. Painful to behold. Yeah, look at my man. I got a digital clock for opening a bank account in 1989. See, there's John Bradford. This is the problem that we have. And John, if you're still around, I'm going to bash you for a second. This is the issue. John says 250,000 isn't enough. 250,000 is more than enough. Is more than enough. All you're doing is you're socializing the risk, i.e., you're allowing the banksters to engage in more speculative behavior because they have a backstop called the federal government, which means they're going to compete on profit margins, which is lots of leverage, lots of speculative investments, and it works out, they get paid. When it doesn't work out, the government backstops them. See, this is the problem that we have with guys like John. He actually thinks it's a good thing to increase the FDIC coverage. Nothing could be further from the truth. That's the worst thing, because it encourages bad behavior on behalf of these banks, because they're going to be rewarded for speculations that work. They'll be rewarded, and they won't be punished for speculations that go south. It's so freaking blindingly obvious to anyone who could just see just 2 feet in front of them, but people can't, man. They can't. The COVID wars are no joke. I can't tell you how many subscribers I lost talk about the COVID wars. I mean, people literally thought there's an IFR, infection fatality rate of 10%. They literally thought people were dying dead in the streets in China, and they're piling up bodies in Italy. And was it Uruguay? Literally, people thought this. I'm sitting there thinking, I can't believe people don't see what's happening. I couldn't believe it. And the same people said, "Oh man, I'll wear the mask, but I'll never get the jab." And they all did, because they said, "Well, I got to play the ball, John. I got to play ball." It's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's like sometimes to be a independent thinker, you feel cursed. I was thinking about this morning. So it's like I feel like I'm cursed sometimes to be such an independent thinker, because it would be nice just to go along. Yeah, just let the FDIC increase coverage to what? What's the 5 million? Well, 10 million. What? Well, now it's unlimited. It's nationalized. The banks are nationalized. And I just wish I could go on to get along. But I don't know why I'm blessed and cursed at the same time with the ability to have thought that doesn't fall for the mainstream narrative. People like John Bradford don't. It's just sad. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Don't be bashing him or anything like that. They just don't see 2 steps ahead. They don't, and as such, it's it's frustrating. Not gonna lie to you. It's yeah. And even now I'm still reading. I can't believe I'm like reading my man Ron Unz. I like Ron Unz, but he is still a big vax proponent, and I'm like, dude, even you, after all that has happened, you still think to be anti-vax is crackpot. And that's Ron Unz. This isn't some freaking liberal. And I'm sitting there thinking, I can't believe that people who literally despise the federal government believe it when it comes to the Department of Defense. If you're conservative, if you're a baby boomer, the moon landing, and then on vaccines, it's literally the strangest thing to me. I'm like, the federal government is either incompetent or evil in everything they do, except when it comes to the moon landing. Even though we've destroyed the technology, it takes too hard. It's too much of a hassle to recreate it," said Don Pettit. But that we still believe that the vaccine is proven. Polio, we'd all be in iron lungs. And then I forgot the other. Or the Department of Defense. The military is always, the good for the good. I used to buy all that stuff. Not the vaccine. The vaccines, I didn't really care. The moon landing, I didn't care. But the military, we're always the good guys. And it turns out we're not, man. It turns out we're not. And it's just, and we haven't been for a long time. And I was just reading something else there today, too, whereas I think about, in Maine. I got my book back there. Let's see if I can. I share this with you. I don't know if I can be able to find it quickly, but I hope I can. The Baxters of Maine. See, if you like, I love this stuff, dude. I need to read more, and I don't do it enough. But the Baxters of Maine, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find it. Let's see if I. But it talks about how they got the land. It's just political connections. Yeah, I'm not going to. I didn't keep it. Yeah, I'm not going to find it. Just political connections, man. The king granted, "I bless you, sir, Mr. Baxter," whoever the hell it was, and passed down for generations. Had nothing to do with their, just they're politically connected, and we give you the land. Okay, what the hell is that? And it's been, and multi-generational. And this is where the whole reparations things make sense to me in a way. I mean, that jumped that shark when all the blacks still voted for freaking heels up Harris and Sniffy Joe. It's like, man, you guys weren't serious. You guys just wanted the Democrats, dude. That was disappointing. But there is a case to be made for reparations when people like the Baxters just give them land that was sat in there for generations for nothing else than they happen to be politically connected to the king. I mean, it makes sense. Anyway, point being is just we aren't always the good guys. In fact, you can be said that a lot of times we're not. They're the bad guys. And do you know that Ho Chi Minh apparently was actually a fan of Thomas Jefferson? I'm like, what? What is this? And it's like, well, he's a fan of Thomas Jefferson. And let's go kill him. It's crazy. It doesn't mean that commies are good. No, it just means there's more than just a false dichotomy. And I just, yeah, it's here. Citizens United, 100%, man. And but they've been doing it for years anyway. Don't forget, Fannie Mae was bribing politicians for a long time, Republicans and Democrats alike. Big Pharma has been doing it for a long time too, well before Citizens United. But again, there's another one that I was in favor of. Citizens United. Yeah, corporations are people too. What an idiot, dude. What an idiot. You guys want to see something scary? Check this out. Why law enforcement is facing unprecedented challenges in hiring and keeping recruits. Now, I know that everyone thinks it's because BLM and stuff and Antifa. I get it. But I was driving today or coming back like yesterday from Pensacola, and there's a sign in my town of Milton, Georgia, which is a very affluent, safe town. I'm sure there's a lot of crackheads, or what do rich people do? Cocaine. I'm sure there's a lot of cocaine sniffers, table sniffers in the wealthy areas. I don't sniff cocaine, but I'm sure many do in this wealthy area. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but there's not a gun shooting, very few guns and stuff like that in terms of shots fired and gangbangers. but they can't find police. And it occurred to me, I was like, so I just did a cursory look at, Huntsville, Alabama. They need police. I looked at Haddonfield, New Jersey doesn't need police, but Camden County, New Jersey, which is where Haddonfield is and Cherry Hill and whatnot, they need police. And I've just these Bernie, Texas needs police. These are all pretty affluent places I've lived. I didn't look at Portland, Maine. I imagine they need police too. I don't know. Actually, let's take a look. Portland, Maine. Does Portland, Maine need police? Your flag the cow won't get you into heaven anymore. Maine police. We're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Now Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the killing's for. But your flag the cow won't get you into heaven anymore. All right, so let's look at Portland Police Department. Let's see. Yeah, Careers join us right here. Look at that. Here we go. Careers join us. Let's see what they got in Portland, Maine. Answer the call. Police. Yes. Accept application rolling base for the Maine. Portland police officer recruitment. Police hiring facts. Yeah. So anyway, it used to not be like that, man. To be a cop or a fireman, I mean, you had to freaking fight tooth and nail for those gigs, dudes. Now it's like there's just not enough cops. And there's not a saving group of young people coming up to be cops. I mean, there's a few, but not many. I'm sitting there thinking, the aging population means there's less, criminal-oriented people because we know young men are the perps of crime. But there's still a hell of a lot of young men out there. A lot of young men who are angry for whatever reason out the world, for whatever happened to them. I don't know. And as such, that you don't need a whole lot of young men in terms of the overall population to do a lot of havoc. That's a fact. And so there's just not that many people who are becoming. I just couldn't believe it. So there's a freaking sign: Milton police officer, 57 to 63,000 a year with benefits. I don't know if they have a pension, but I'm like, dude, this is a very affluent town. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You're not going to be able to find a house in Milton, Georgia for $5,000 if that's what you're making a month. I grant you. But you can go to Forsyth County. You can go to Cumming. You can go to Cherokee County right next door. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't have to go to Atlanta to be a cop. You can come right here and be a cop and be safe and get a decent job. And yet they can't find people. Doesn't that scare anybody? Like there's not going to be enough law enforcement, dude. And it doesn't take a lot of Antifa types to really run havoc. I just thought that was interesting. So I looked around all these places. Help wanted, help wanted. I looked at Maine State Troopers, help wanted. I looked at Alabama State Troopers, help wanted. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Bernie, Texas, it was about 40, I think it was, actually, I can't remember. When we lived in Bernie, Texas, right, the edge of the hill country, penalty. Population of Bernie, about 18,000 people there. Yeah, right. Yep. So it's, let me show you. So Bernie, Texas has grown by, check this out. Oops. Let me show you. Ah, dude. When we lived there at 10,000 people, in the 2010 census, when we lived there, 10,000 people. Now it's got 18,000 people. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's nuts, dude. Nuts. So, I mean, it's like, woo, no. It's in Kendall County. Yeah, right on. Kendall, it's right north of San Antonio. Right north of San Antonio. Whoa. 20 years ago, the local police department would get 100 apps for a cop job. This year, 7. Damn. And I got a feeling those 7, 4 of them are freaking not up to snuff, if you know what I'm saying. I think the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at late 70s. Yeah, I read some on that, not Kansas City specifically, but another place like that. They're like at 1980s levels, 100%, man. Hey, Liberty's checking in. Wait, no, okay. Yep, Kendall County, crazy. Yep, all cops get pensions. I don't know about all cops, Susan. I think I don't know if all. I don't know if. I mean, I mean, I don't know if each department's different. I don't know how that works. The 1% increase. Is that Marsh from Maine? Marsh M. Is that you from Maine? I've never seen your face before. Who was the last president to leave office in the U.S.? Andrew Jackson. Yeah, 100%, dude. We know the Civil War. 100%. I'll go flush. Andrew Jackson was the man. Was it Andrew Jackson, the Trail of Tears? It was, wasn't it? That's not good. But in terms of financially, that was good. But the Civil War at that time was the let's put it this way, the Great Reset, if that makes sense, where we said, the ways of Thomas Jefferson, we got to get rid of them. We're gonna take over, let big government take things. Hey, Bird Dog lives in Bernie. Portland, Maine sucks. Harry took a security guard at a local hospital because they can't. Whoa, Harry, you for real? I didn't know you're doing that. You carrying a Glock? Man, look at that. That's nuts. Yeah, I don't think so. Cal Bob's. I think you guys are making a big mistake if you think rates are going to keep rising. Why do you think, man? Why do you think? 1 second. I just think. I mean, I could. I don't know. No one knows, but there is a reason that is happening right now. That's a 10-year Treasury yield is dropped from. Let me get rid of this. Oops. It's dropped from 4 a week ago to 3.5 now. That's a 50 basis point decline in 1 week's time. That's a friggin' 12.5% decline in yield in 1 week's time. That is certainly not indicative of a high interest rate expectations. In fact, it's nuts. The inverted yield curve is even that much worse now because the 10-year, it used to be a 2 and a 10 inverted yield curve. Well, let's just say the 6 month. I don't know. It doesn't matter anymore. Well, let's just use Fed funds rate. You can use the Fed funds rate. It doesn't matter. But Fed funds rate is what, 4.5, 4.75, something like that. And the 10-year Treasury is at 3.5. Dude, it's never been that way. Just protect your money. Protect the money. You're getting paid to protect it, amigos. Protect it. Dividend stocks don't look as good as they did a year ago because they're getting paid to protect your money. I mean, I've been harking on this now for a year. I think probably 2 years. Downshift, downshift, downshift. If you're 100% stocks, downshift to Wellington like I did. If you're in Wellington, downshift to Wellesley. If you're in Wellesley, buy a bunch of freaking CDs. And it's really at the end of the day, do you have to? No. I'm just saying you gotta protect the downside. If you have the buckets, if you have 4 years cash, I wouldn't say just buy everything. So let me back up. If you have 4 years of cash already situated, you're fine. Now you don't have to go crazy here. But let's put it this way. Let's say you had $1 million, 600,000 in total stock index, 400,000 in cash. Just for the 4 years of just literally using for the 400,000 as 4 years of cash, just for simplicity here. Yeah, I still shift the VTI down to Wellington. If I had Wellington, I still shifted to Wellesley. If I had Wellesley, I would not shift it anymore down. That's too much. You see what I'm saying? Because stocks in of itself, it's not like companies are going bankrupt left and right. I mean, they could happen, but Costco, Walmart, I don't know what else. Who do I got? I don't even know who buy Verizon, I guess. I mean, these companies are still going to be around. Whether or not they get paid from it, I don't know. But it's a risk worth taking to have some stocks still. And so I still have my Vanguard Dividend Growth Fund. You can't just say, everything's going to hell in a handbasket. I mean, you can, but okay. I mean, you still got to put your money someplace. And again, assuming you have all your debt paid off, or it's easily accessible in which to pay that debt off, which is what you should do right away. Other than that, you still say, I got $1 million, need 400,000 or 200,000 in cash. I'm going to have VTI in cash. I'm going to have Wellesley in cash, or I'm going to have Wellington in cash. But I'm not going any further south than that. I hope that makes sense, man. Banks don't need to take risks like that. Yeah, but they bought long-term treasuries. And that's the thing is everyone's like, I mean, these people defending this is weird to me. Like, well, they're forced to buy long-term treasuries. I said, who? Well, they had to turn a profit. No, they didn't have to. I mean, you don't have to buy long-term treasury. The world has gone mad. Erasure of traditional moral. Yeah, well, it's always been mad. Exactly. They don't care 100%, man. SVB departs with most adventure. Exactly. 100%. So again, we're socializing the risk and privatizing the profits. That's what drives. That's why people who say we need to raise the FDIC limits to protect clowns like this, it's nuts to me. And when they make all their bank and the next version of PayPal, well, what are we gonna get? A freaking T-shirt? Hey, we bailed out the next venture capital who'd have lost his money, SVB, and all they get is this lousy T-shirt. It's nuts. God, crazy. Exactly. Exactly. I read that Adam Smith has written some old world Yiddish. It makes sense if you can translate it through, though. Ukraine's going to pay us back? How? All right, 35 years in a crap little job. I walked away today. Oh, hey, look at my man Broken Arrow. He's going to go out there and friggin' crush on his axe. He plays his axe. As long as he's not playing 80s music, he's good. 35 years in a crap little banking job, and he walked out today. Oh, that's freaking awesome, man. You're kicking ass. Love it. That's awesome. I love that stuff. I love it. Makes me so happy. Makes me feel like I'm doing something. Yeah, then why would you? Oh my goodness! Why would you want FDIC insured raised? Because of this doesn't make sense, John Bradford. Why would you want it raised to protect the VCs who are basically? I don't understand. I literally can't. Logic escapes me. I guess I don't know. Brad K just had at the end of the day, not worried. Expect my stocks and mutual funds to grow by the time we need them. Yeah, 100%. I think that's a safe bet. And if it doesn't happen, you have no debt. You're going to be okay. I mean, it's not like people would starve for heaven's sake. Again, as I always go back, Rome is still here. Freaking Turkey's still here. I'm mad like most Americans. Susan, we are mad about the bailouts, but most people are sitting there like John Bradford saying we need to raise the FDIC limits because if we don't, we're all going to get screwed. And I just and that guy's the majority. We are the minority. We're like, wait a second. You took the risk. Your speculation failed. You should pay the consequence. You still have 250,000 of FDIC coverage, which will more than be adequate insurance for the vast majority of mom and pop households in the United States, well above what most people have. And by the way, it's easy to get $500,000 FDIC coverage at the same bank. It's easy. TOD account, done. That's it. TOD, POD, payable in debt. It's crazy. But most people, they don't think like us. They think, oh, well, if this helps my portfolio maintain itself for this time being, it's good. And then I'll be happy with what Janet Yellen did. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. You're going to have to take some short term pain. This is what happened in 1982. Right? Massive recession because of all the insanity from the 70s and whatnot. They didn't stop the recession because of Paul Volcker, just for the love of the good Lord. But it came to an end finally because Reagan just let it work itself out. He said, we're not going to get the government involved more than the government needs. Look, Reagan, I'm not the hugest fan of anymore, but he was still better than the vast majority of presidents that could have been certainly better than John Anderson, certainly better than Jimmy Carter, certainly better than his successor. Yeah, at the end of the day, though, you wonder how much Reagan actually knew what was going on. Alexander Haig, freaking Casper Weinberger, all these clowns. Freaking, what's that guy's name with a tattoo who's like, I love Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos. What's that guy's name? Oh, clowns, dude. Elizabeth Theranos, I'm on her board. And she, with her fake blonde hair, she blinked at me. You know what I'm talking about. It's all scumbags. David Stockman, he's part of OMB for Reagan. They left. He said, this is not sustainable. But he's been saying that for 40 years. So it's easy to laugh at him. But the problem is it is not sustainable. It's just that, probably will collapse well after we're here. Now, as such, people say, my 401k still looks good. I'm good. It's all good. Okay, but dude, when it collapses, it's going to be violent, worse than anything you could possibly imagine. You've got to rip the Band-Aid off and just take the pain. Take the pain. New York State correction officers don't want to do the job because they give the inmates Suboxone. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is, Suboxone. I was assigned Casper's old seat in the legislature. I don't know what you're talking about. Casper Weinberger? Look at that dog. United States, where irresponsible. Exactly. 100%. 100%, Travis. Everybody's rewarded, and the irresponsible get, they fail upwards. Don't forget, the CAO, the Chief Administrative Officer of SVB, was previously with Lehman Brothers until 2007. Okay, gotcha. Right on. Gotcha. Yep. 100%. I could not agree right here. I could star this. I'm not sure what that does. I started this right. My man Brutus, isn't that Brutus? Who was trying to give us olive oil. Never understood why olive oil. Man, what the hell, dude? Jeez Louise. Anyway, so isn't that Brutus? John Bradford, the banks will invest in riskier investments, and believe me, the depositors will be left out in the cold. It takes a while and will be pushed to see. I completely agree. That's going to happen, man. That's going to happen. The banks will invest in riskier speculations. The depositors, they're going to say, if you want your money back, you're going to go to the CBDC and you're going to do what we say. You're going to have a social credit score. That's conspiracy theory. Dude, it's happening, man. It's going to happen. They don't want cash because they can't track it as well. And they want to track every doggone thing that happens. And people will gladly say, thank you, sir. Can I have another? I probably will. Thank you, sir. Can I have another? You know what I'm saying? And if you're caught using a different currency to trade, you know what I'm saying? That's not really barter. Let's just say you're trading, it's a counterfeit. You can see this a mile away. That's why Bitcoin will never take off, is they're not going to allow a counterfeit currency. I think the government's that dumb. They're going to let a government entity, non-government entity be our currency exchange. It was counterfeiting. I mean, come on, man. It's never going to happen. But people still believe it. It's weird. Whatever. It's up to you. I don't care. But I'm just sitting there thinking, you can see this a mile away. If you want, and I did a video on this like 3 years ago. What I thought would ultimately happen is that they'd say, at some point, they say, you have $100,000 in your checking account right now. You get 90 days to convert that CBDC, or else it'll only be worth $90,000. You have 90 days to convert it. After that, it'll be worth $80,000. You see what I'm saying? You can see that a mile away. We got to guarantee these deposits. You don't want to lose your money. So if you don't want to lose your money, you're gonna have to. We're going to CBDC. That will stop the cartels. The cartels in Mexico who killed those 2 black people down there, and they're apologizing. We'll have a new reinvigoration of cartel worries. Fast and Furious from Erica Holder and whatnot, to scare the bejeebus out of everybody. Oh my goodness, the cartels are coming. Yeah, we got to ban the cartels. How do we do that? Get rid of cash. Cartels are big on cash. And on top of that, we're going to reward you for that. So if you put $100,000 in CBDC, you have $100,000, maybe $101,000, whatever, just to get you incentivized to do it. But if you wait too long, it'll be worth $90,000, then $80,000. You don't want to wait too long. And by the way, if we catching you trading with counterfeit currency, a la the good old greenback, That's jail time. Don't forget, they made gold illegal. Do people not remember this? Under FDR, it was illegal to transact in gold coins. Illegal by jail time, amigos. Gold. Everyone's like, gold kept up with inflation. How could you possibly know that? Gold had a ceiling on it for freaking years. And then all of a sudden it just went through the roof once they took the ceiling off. But it's because it's been held so far down for 50 years, I think. Yeah, about 50 years, 35 to, no, not 50 years, about 35 years, 35 to 72, or something like that. I think it's 72. And so then they took off the governor on gold and it opened up, but shoops. Anytime they regulate stuff like that, they have a price control. The minute they lift the price control, it takes off. And that's what happened with gold. And by 1980, it was at its high. And now it's well below its high, adjusted for inflation. Oh, 100%, dude. Heads I win, tails you lose. Exactly. Had to laugh when Vimo got caught in this mess. I'm not sure what Vimo is. Yeah, 100%. The Rockefellers. Don't just put on the Rothschilds because people say you're being anti-Semitic. You gotta put on the Baptists too, the Rockefellers. So for me to be an equal opportunity offender, I put on the Jesuits, Catholics. I put on the Baptists, Rockefellers. I put on the Jews, the Rothschilds. I'm not sure who the Muslim equivalent is. I don't know. Is there a Muslim equivalent? I'm not sure who that guy would be. But we got the Rothschilds, we got the Rockefellers, we got the Jesuits. And I'm sure there's more too, don't get me wrong. But that's the three, equal opportunity offender. So we start there. But if you just put on the Rothschilds, everyone's like, oh my goodness, you're being anti-Semitic. Like, no, not in the least. Anyways, just be careful, Cheryl, because people are looking to be offended by anything anymore. How dare you? You see what I'm saying? But it's so freaking blind. It has nothing to do with the faith of the Abrahamic religion, by the way. It's power, man. It's all there is. They don't care. The Satanists, man, Satanists. And when the Satanists are running things, they want to take other people down. That's what Satan wants. They want to feed off people. Literally, if you just read Screwtape Letters, what do the tormentors want to do? They want to take you to hell. Why? Why? Because they want to feed on your soul. Literally, you are the food choice for the devil and his legions of evil people. They feed on your soul. That's what they want. They want you. You're their source of sustenance. And as such, they don't. I mean, they'll do whatever they got to do. They'll lie, cheat, and steal to get you. You know, they'll promote. Man, if you do this, you're gonna get the hottest chicks. If you do this, you'll get those mofo's back. Vengeance will be yours. If you do this, you'll be hanging out with Matt Damon on whatever Super Bowl promoting crypto doc, whatever the hell it is. You know what I'm saying? Because they all sold their soul. If you do this, man, you're gonna be great. You'll be rich and famous. You're like, I'll sell my. I just want to be rich and famous. Oh, we got you. You know, 60 years goes by. You're kaplunk, and now you're food for the devils, and they don't care. And then they'll look up to you and say, but you said it's better to reign in hell than it is to serve in heaven. I thought it was to be reigning in hell. Oh, you thought wrong, sucker. We lied. You thought wrong. We lied. That's what we do. We're liars. We'll tell you whatever you want to hear. We'll whisper sweet nothings. Oh man, Josh, you're gonna get the hottest chicks. You're gonna be freaking partying with Tom Brady. Oh my, it's gonna be great. Just sign here. Sign here. It'll be great. And when you do, you got 60 years if you're lucky. And then after that, you'll be like Madonna. See Madonna right now? My man Paul from Pockets of the Future YouTube channel. He calls her Madam Expiration Date. She's like, I will never say a woman's beautiful again because I don't judge on looks. I judge on bravery and intelligence. And that she has her YouTube channel is all devoted to skincare and beauty products. She's like, her time is up. And she doesn't want to let it go because she's scared. It's scary. Watching a chick like Madonna just recognizing her time is up and she is tormented with it's insane, dude. Insane. So what she's gonna try to do is bring as many people down with her as she can. And as such, you think what's that stupid chick's name, Lady Gaga? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Think she just happened out of the blue to be happenstance? Nah, dude, none of these people just wake up one day and say, "You're Lady Gaga. You're so famous." You're like, "Okay, great. Why? Because you signed the dotted line, sister. It's great. Enjoy it while you can, because we'll be eating." Actually, the funny thing is the Screwtape Letters, the tormentors, when Screwtape proposes a toast, the say it right now, the tormentors, they're very upset because their level of their capture, the fish they caught, essentially, the souls, weren't very tastely. They were just fell into lust or gluttony. They weren't hateful. They were like, there's no Hitlers or I think he said Napoleon even in there. That Genghis Khan. There was no hating. Like there's no. It didn't give the fire of taking a bite out of Hitler, of Genghis Khan, of Napoleon, or whatever it was. There was, it's just basic grifters. Your local municipality guy was getting bribed. Your local guy at church was, being a Pete. You know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't. It's just not the same as the real hate. And so we're eating these people, and it's it gives us life and energy, but it doesn't give you the burning sensation of the hatred. So now it's just easy, the gluttony, the lust, but there's no mass hatred anymore. It's just actually interesting. You gotta, yeah, dude. C.S. Lewis, man, Screwtape Letters is, yeah. Dennis Rodman is a weird sort. Yeah, dude, it's scary, it's sad. Oprah's not, 100%. Yeah, Oprah's same thing. I mean, Oprah's just a clown, dude. Oprah. I can't stand Oprah. I can't stand that chick. What is the big deal? She's so righteous. No, she's a scumbag. Oh, gosh. All right, so my man says, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. 20 ounce and your gold buyer have to report. Yeah, exactly, man. 100%. 100%. You're going to have to report your sale by gold. Towards the end of J.P. Morgan's life, the Rothschilds own. Whoa! Look at my man, this guy, Kabulis. Man, I did not know. That's interesting. But there's no conspiracy there. How dare you? Yeah, Satan, he just lies. It's crazy. We all fall for it. The goal is for you to deny God, work, and 100%, man. 100%. The Hollywood, New York City, and Silicon Valley, the devil's portals. Yeah, I think any media entity, and particularly, obviously, Washington D.C. as well, but any kind of media outlet is propaganda. I mean, literally propaganda. My man, I'll show you. I haven't read the whole book. Dude, that's the thing. It's like you got so many books to read. Propaganda. You just can't read them all. Right here. I forgot the other guy's name. Propaganda. I'm just drawing a blank, but my man Jacques, this guy right here, Elu, the formation of men's attitudes. Supports the idea that propaganda is made primarily of a will to action for the purpose of effectively arming policy made by the state. Leonard Dube, the Doobie from the Doobie Brothers, American specialist, defined propaganda in 1948 as the attempt to affect a personalize and control the behavior of individuals. Now, this guy kicks ass. He's anarchy and Christianity. This guy is Jacques. This guy this guy freaking brilliant. And I think he. I did read this book. It's been a while. French sociologist and lay theologian, was professor. It's Jacques Ellul. It's good reading there, man. Yeah, the House of Roth lent money to both sides. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the House of Rothschilds lent money to both sides. It's like they don't care as long as we're at war. It's nuts. It's kind of like Prescott Bush. You know what I'm saying? Financing Hitler while his son's off to fight the Japanese. Like, whoa, that's kind of weird there, Prescott Bush. Scumbag. They don't care. And then we're going to have Nuremberg trials for the Nazis, and then we're going to bring a bunch of them over to be involved in NASA. Hey, look at it right there. Maine Lobster Association suing California Aquarium. Oh, that's fantastic. That's good stuff. I hope you get a good judge to hear that. That's fantastic, man. You guys, how you funding that? You guys raising money for it or what? If you got a link there, big guy, you want me to talk about it, happy to do so. If there's a link to raise money for that, I mean, I'm happy to help out. Pal, why would he bow out? You say, wow. All right, man. Yep. It's almost like the Nazis actually lose. The Nazis actually. Oh, that is. Oh my. Oh, Andrew, that is so funny. Oh my goodness, that is good stuff. Oh my man says I gotta go to bed. Need to get up early, make a run on that bank. Let's say quick prayers. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for our fellowship here amongst similar-minded people. We can have disagreements on things. It's okay. Just a good cheer, serving you and your. But we only can serve you if we listen to what you say. And to listen to what you say, we need to get on our knees and pray and ask for guidance, to be peaceful, to be open-minded, to listen to your guidance without distraction. Oh, Heavenly Father, I'm the biggest hypocrite of that as there is. Please guide me to be listening more for your words of wisdom, Lord. I mean, the one who created all things, and yet we're worried about a bunch of satanic people in the temporal world. Give us the strength to remember this is all temporary. Your will, your word, your soul, you are eternal. Let us always remember that and do whatever we can to join your eternity forever. In God's name, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, my friends. Just patient, quiet. I tell you, it's tough, man. Tough. Quiet. Try it for 10 minutes. For me, it needs to be 15 minutes at least. Because the first 10 minutes, like you're thinking about just 15 minutes, just quiet. It'll help. I tell you, I don't do it every day. I wish I did. I need to. So I'm too caught up in this stupid thing. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. God bless, man. We'll see you guys on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. God bless. See ya.